Hello and welcome to this tutorial for the game Istanbul. It's from 2014 and in my opinion it's still a very fun game. Here's how it goes. You are going to play until one player owns 5 of these little red rubies. Then you finish the round. If there's still only one player with 5 rubies, that person is the winner. In case of a tie, check the rulebook. But again, you play until one person gets her or his 5th ruby. If you are that player with 5 rubies, you are the winner. First up, how do you get those red rubies? During the game, you can earn money and resources. If you go to this space, the gemstone dealer, you can pay money to just buy 1 ruby. If you go to this space, the Sultan's Palace, you can pay resources to get 1 ruby. The price for each ruby is written right next to it. Every time a player takes one of these rubies, the price for the next one will be higher. This is how you get rubies. Either pay for them with money, here, or pay for them with resources, here. There is one last way to get rubies. If you get both of these bonus tiles from here, you can take this ruby in the corner. If you get both of these bonus tiles from here, you can take this ruby. And if you have upgraded your own little wheelbarrow to the maximum by having 3 of these extensions, you can also take the ruby from the little corner. So either pay to get rubies or complete a set. Next, a round is when every player has had a turn. And you can keep this handy little board with you for the whole game, for information on how you play it. But how do you play the game? What do you do when it's your turn? That's quite easy. When it's your turn, you move and do 1 action. That's it. Move and do an action. You always first move, and you have to move. Unless you have a card that says you can stay where you are, you must go to another location on the game board. Every player has their own color. Every player also has a big disc in that color with a person on it. This is you. You also have some thinner discs stacked under your big disc. Those are your assistants. When you move, you take your whole stack of discs and move it 1 or 2 spaces. You may not move diagonally. You end your move by either dropping one of your thinner discs, your assistant, or if there was already a disc there from when you dropped it a few turns before, you pick it up by standing on top of it. So again, when it's your turn, you first must move. You pick up your whole stack and move 1 or 2 spaces, not diagonally. When you're at the space you choose to stop, you either drop a disc if there wasn't one already there, or you pick 1 up of your own discs that you left behind earlier. Also keep in mind that your little discs, your assistant, do all the work. If it's just you, the bigger disc, you can't do anything. So make sure you always have at least 1 disc to drop or pick up. One little detail. If you are at a location where there is already another big disc of another player, you must give 2 money to that other player. Don't forget this rule, and it only applies to the big discs. And then, when you've dropped a disc or picked up a disc, you can do the action of the location where you are. If you're at the market, you do the market action. If you're at the post office, you do the post office action, and so on. The very last thing you might be able to do when it's your turn is deal with these things, the black column and the purple column. You don't have to, but you can. If you did, then at the end of your turn you have to roll the dice and move the column from your space to the space that has the same number as you just rolled. I won't explain what they do because that's written very clearly in a few sentences on your information board that you have with you. It's very easy, you just get a little bonus. But again, when it's your turn, you move 1 or 2 spaces, then you drop or pick up one of your discs, and then you do the action of the location. If there happens to be a black or purple column, you can also use those at the end of your turn. If you do, then they have to move to a new location by rolling the dice. If you happen to have one or more bonus cards in your hand, you can use those whenever you like during your turn. Using bonus cards is not an action. What each bonus card means is written on your information board. Now, what are all the spaces on the board? What are the locations and what do they do for you? This is important information. Let's start with the simple ones, the warehouses. You can see this yellow space, the red space, and the green space. When you go to one of these, you can slide your little cube all the way to the right. For example, I move to the red warehouse, the fabric warehouse. Then I drop one of my assistants, a thin disc, and then I can do the action. This is red, so on my own wheelbarrow I can now slide my cube all the way up on the red track. I now own this many red items. There are also blue resources, but those work a little differently. You can get those here. First, you can take a resource of your choice. Yellow, red, or green. You get 1. I'll choose green, so I slide my little cube up by 1 space on the green track of my wheelbarrow. And then I have to roll the dice to see how many blue resources I get. The board shows you how much you get for what you have rolled. Then, the markets. You have the small market here and the big market here. They both work the same way. If you go there, you can sell a certain number of resources and then get money for it. The little board on the market shows you what you have to sell. You can choose to sell only 1 item, or 2, or 3. It's up to you. And then the board shows you how much money you can take from the bank. When you're done, just flip over the little board and place it on the bottom. Next up is the post office. When you go here, you get what you see. That's it. Right now I can see these resources, so I slide those up by 1 space on my wheelbarrow, and I get this much money. I take that from the bank. Done. I slide down the leftmost cube. And that was my turn. Another easy one, the caravan, here. When you go here, you can take 2 bonus cards. You can either take the top 2 cards from the deck that's next to the board, or you can take the top 2 cards from the discard pile on the board here. Put them into your hand. And end your turn by placing 1 card on the discard pile. So, you take 2 cards, but you have to return 1 from your hand. You already know this one, the gemstone dealer. You go here to pay money and get a ruby. You also remember the Sultan's Palace? You go here to get a ruby by paying resources. Look at what it's asking for, slide down your cubes for each resource that you spend, and take the ruby. If you go to this location where you see a stack of extensions for your wheelbarrow, you can pay 7 money to take one of the thin strips and put it into your own wheelbarrow. From now on, you can carry more resources. Don't worry about remembering this, the price is written right there on the board. In fact, every location basically tells you in icons what you can do there. Moving on, and getting a little more complicated. The tea house. You go here to gamble for money. You will never lose money. This is how it works. When you go here, you have to say a number. For example, 7. Then you roll the dice. If you roll a 7 or higher, you can take 7 money from the bank. If you roll lower than a 7, then you can take only 2 money from the bank. That's it. Pick a number and roll the dice and hopefully get the big money. The police station, this space on the board. When you go here, you can get the column in your own color out of jail and place it anywhere you like on the board to do that action. So the first advantage of this is that even though you are here, you can still do the action that's all the way on the other side of the board. The second thing that this is good for is that when you use this column, you never have to pay 2 money if there is another player in that location. But once you've used your column, it stays there until another player goes to that same location and sends it back to jail. You even get a reward for that. It's written on your own information board, money or a bonus card. Almost done. This location here is the fountain. When you go here, you can call back all or some of your assistants, your own little thin discs. Wherever they are on the board, you can bring them back and stack them under you. Since everyone is always welcome in this place, you never have to pay money if there's already another player here. The fountain is free. The last 2 locations you can go to are the small mosque and the great mosque. They both work the same. You go there to get one of the bonus tiles. As soon as you own a tile, you can use the bonus that it shows for the entire game. So they're good to have. How do you get one? If you go to one of the mosques, you have to have at least all of the resources the tile is asking for. For example, this one says I need to have at least 2 red resources in my wheelbarrow. I do. And then it says I have to pay 1 red resource. So I slide my cube down 1 space on the red track, and now I can take this tile to keep with me and use its power for the rest of the game. I already have the green tile, so now this set is complete. So I can take the ruby that's in the corner of this location. I'll quickly tell you what each tile can do for you. This red one says that whenever I roll the dice, I can either re-roll both of them or turn one of the dice into the number 4. The green one says that every time I go to a warehouse, I can pay money to take one of another resource. This tile from the big mosque says that I can pay money to call back an assistant from any location on the board. And this tile says I can take the little assistant disc that was placed next to the game board during the setup, so now I have an extra assistant to use during the game. Done! This is how you play Istanbul. I'll do a quick recap. When it's your turn, move 1 or 2 spaces and drop or pick up one of your discs. And then do the action. The locations. Go to the warehouse for resources or to the black market for blue resources. Go to the gemstone dealer to buy a ruby with money. Go to the palace to buy a ruby with resources. Go to the markets to sell resources and get money for that. Go to the post office to simply get what you see and then slide down the left cube. Go to the caravan to take 2 bonus cards and discard 1. Go to the Wainwright to make your wheelbarrow bigger. Go to the tea house to pick a number and then roll the dice to see if you win that much money. Go to the police station to put your own column anywhere on the board and do that action. If you have no more discs to drop or pick up, you go to the fountain to call all of them back or just some of them. And go to the mosques to get the tiles that give you a bonus for the whole game. It's a lot, but if you keep looking at the icons and your information sheet, you'll remember. I hope that you feel like you really understand how this game is played and that you'll enjoy it. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Feel free to leave a comment and see you for the next one.